Isolation Nation, welcome to the Social Distancing Social Club. Do I have my sleep mouth guard still in? No, maybe. Who knows? The point is, we got a show to do, and they say the show must go on, whether or not you can't show your bottom lip. It's Hollywood. This is the grits and grammar. Oh boy. This is the Social Distancing Social Club. I'm Ben Glebe, and I'd like to introduce you now to the second leg of the four-legged tripod that makes up the quarantine, Steve Hofstetter.
How is it that I'm doing this from the road, you're doing this from home, and I'm fine, and you're running around? How does this...
Well, I don't know the answer to that, but I do know it's clear now why you moved to Pittsburgh. Look at that white cabinet right there.
I'm on the road. I'm not in Pittsburgh right now. I'm in a hotel. I'm doing a spot tonight for the first time.
Oh, this is your New York. You're in New York right now.
I'm not going to say where I am.
You said
he's at a Hyatt. He's at a Hyatt Regency in Manhattan.
34th Street.
Address is no. I'm not going to New York yet. I went somewhere else first to do a spot. I don't want to say where because I don't want anyone to come. So, anyway, if you want to support the show, please do so. Top right of the screen is our Venmo. You can PayPal at sdscshow.com. Of course, Super Chat on YouTube. Do all of that stuff. And I was really hoping Ben would be driven a little bit more crazy by my suitcase peeking into the frame, but I guess it didn't work. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
I do like the color contrast, but it's a little off kilter and sticking off the edge, which is a little bit strange.
Yeah, you gonna be okay? Here, you know what? I'll just move it a little bit.
I wanted him to leave it open, but he wouldn't do that.
Chris Bowers, everybody. Chris Bowers.
Wow.
You know, Steve, I hope I get to the point in my career where I have to keep my gig secret so people don't show up that I didn't want to be. Like, that's just such an awesome place you're at. And I'm not making funny. Like, the fact that, like, you don't want to tell, because you know 6 people would show up and you're not ready for that, that's a pretty awesome place to be in your career. Where the rest of your time we're just begging people to come anywhere. You're like, no, it's secret. This is just for the people who are there. I love it. Queen Rachel's here. How you doing, Queen?
Wow, so hey. How's it going, guys?
That's actually like, thank you for saying that, because there was a while back when I first moved to LA, Dane Cook was a regular at Laugh Factory, and there was one week where he was out of town, and he called Jamie to ask him to take him off the marquee, because he's like, I'm not going to be there this weekend. Don't put me in the marquee. And I remember talking about that with other comics, being like, man, that's awesome. That he was like, no, don't advertise me. And like, now for me, it's 6 people. You nailed it. But still, it's getting there.
Well, I would never want to be advertised if I wasn't going to be there, even if it was 6 people. Why would you want to be advertised if you...
No, what he's saying is that so many people would show up that they have to take him off the marquee. Like, you could put me on the marquee of the Laugh Factory and it wouldn't affect it one way or the other. Not one person would tweet me and be like, I thought you were at the Laugh Factory, dick. But when Dane Cook's there, then he gets a bunch of angry tweets and shit. So.
When it's not one person, you have a good point. But when there's a range between not one...
With Bowers, all that would happen would be someone, like one of your buddies would drive by the Laugh Factory, show you a picture of the marquee, and then still not go to the show. Like, that's the...
Oh, 1,000%, yeah.
By the way,
once you're real friends with someone, they don't come see you anymore. That's the sad part about comedy and friendship. I'm not kidding. Like, because they can only. We hang out all the time. They listen to me talk all the time. They're not going to go pay for me to be the only person who's allowed to talk for an hour. That seems terrible for your actual friends. Like, sit in a chair and let me talk to you for 1 hour. I'm your actual friend. How about I come to your house and we have a conversation, you dick?
It's $20. This is a Bowers specific thing again, because maybe you're the only person who in a friendship would say, look, if you want me to do my act right now, I'll do it. You don't have to come pay at the club. The rest of us, it's still a different experience.
I also do enjoy
I'm the same on stage as I am off, Ben. I'm the exact same person on and off stage. So if you hang out with me you don't have to see me on stage anymore.
But I love the idea that the way Bowers hangs out with his friends is he sits them down in a chair, faces them toward him, hands them 2 beers, and goes, all right, let's go for an hour. Let's do this. And then just...
That's exactly what I do. I write so much material. Are you serious? That's what every night at my house is an open mic. I hand people beer and I tell them jokes. It's awesome.
Perfect.
But they're not going to pay for them because they've seen me develop them in my living room the whole time. Anyway, we had a fun overnight game. It was, what the hell was it? Let me get to it real fast. Oh, yeah, it was put fuck in a movie. It was put the word fuck in a movie to make it funnier. So Jennifer Story had 3, and I just liked that she did 3 separate tweets. I liked the commitment. She had fuck hard, fuck harder, and live free or fuck hard. 3 separate tweets. But Gus had my favorite, which was fuck in the museum with Ben Stiller. That seemed very specific.
Oh my God.
And becomes a completely different movie, but I loved it. So on the overnight game. Did we have a Night King winner, Rach?
We did. We had a lot of Night King entries. So shout out. I love Greg Murphy's Urinal Cake and the Fat Man. Cynthia's the King of Cake.
Wait. Slow down on that.
You got to say the topic. Tell people the topic.
Oh, sorry. I'm not good at this. We had a Night King game that was Cake, a TV show based on the show the game yesterday. And so Greg Murphy had Urinal Cake and the Fat Man. These are just honorable mentions. Cresswell, the King of Cake of Queens that I really liked.
He was the king of cake too. When you think about it, Kevin James was the king of cake and the king of Queens. That was great.
That's actually, as someone from Queens, that's how you get elected King of Queens. You.
Enough tasty cakes.
Last honorable mention, I liked Ken's The Big Bunt Theory, but I'm going to give it to just because it also had an emoji that went with it. But baking sad, and it is a teddy bear cutting stuff up, just bawling. So I really like that one.
He cutting up other teddy bears? Because that would make him sad.
Now he's cutting onions, which makes sense.
Is that who won that?
Curtis Mason, congratulations.
Curtis Mason, the new Night King.
Nice job.
You've won a ticket to Nowhere Comedy Club and a ticket to the video front row. You were the Night King for the next 20.
And so the way they do that is they
72 hours you're the Night King.
Yeah.
I loved watching you do that math, Ben. That was very fun. 24, that's 2 days. That's 48. No, that's 3 days. That's 6. Oh, that's not 6. That's 72 hours. That was fun.
Don't say I don't know trivia.
If part of the trivia is basic math, that's going to be great.
Yeah, he's like it's multiple choice. It's A, B, C, or D, but it's like which comes after C. That's the question.
We're going to develop a test. Me and Rachel will develop a test that will give different questions to Steve and Ben. So Steve will be like, what's the molecular number of blah, 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 of zinc? And you'll know that.
Are you allowing him to hit off the closer T? That's not fair.
I'm saying that Ben would be like, and who had the key in the kite and invented electricity? They'd be like, Ben Franklin. And so,
I'm like, yeah, okay.
Listen,
yeah.
I take deep offense to that as a man who has been asked to hit off the women's tees during big golf tournaments. I don't like what you're saying.
Those aren't the women's tees anymore. Those are just the closer tees for people who can't hit off of them, whether they're male or female.
Is that officially changed?
No, I'm just saying that they're your tees now.
Yeah, I would be happy if we did that. If we just
they're actually called the low tees.
Don't groan that. That was great. The less tea you have, the closer you have to hit it. That makes total sense.
Groan shame me.
My bad.
I don't know what low teas means. I don't get that.
It's like testosterone. If you have low T, you don't, God, you're going to lose this.
We won't put that question on the trivia. All right. So, we do have a game today. So today's game, in honor of Prince Philip dying of shame. He died of being 99, but also couldn't handle it. So what we're doing is we are roiling.
Is he the first person officially killed by an Oprah interview? Because that'd be awesome if that was killed.
We are roiling a television show. So take a television show, take the title of it, and make it more royal. For instance, Boy in Harriet's World. Or how about Married with Heirs? They're not children to them; they're just heirs. Or The Nanny State. Anyway, take the name of a television show, make it more royal, and the way you participate is you comment on any of our feeds. But if you want yours to count toward the prize at the end of the show, as well as having a much better chance of being read on air, what you do is you comment with a super chat, a Venmo, or a PayPal, at least $5. And we'll read those at the end. And as we know, you got to be careful with your Venmo history because people can see it.
Just don't Venmo yourself bad stuff. You're probably fine. I mean, people know.
Well, yeah, but
stuff.
I'm just referencing.
Just don't write in the comments for 17-year-old girl across state lines. Just don't write that.
Yeah, just the idea of. By the way, there was a tweet. So this is obviously a reference to Matt Gaetz. There was a tweet where someone posted like a year ago where they're like, has anyone ever looked at Matt Gaetz's Venmo history? Because he is Venmo friends with a lot of very young looking women. Oh. That was tweeted by someone like a year ago and nobody checked into it. And
wow.
He's been repeatedly paying for underage women through Venmo?
Well, I mean, some of them are probably, like 18 in 3 days, but yeah, it's
through the app where your photo and name are linked to your payments?
Yes.
Yeah. And then he would write peach emoji and then a bunch of squirting. It was very weird. It's not what he should have done.
His phone is actually the eggplant emoji is worn out. You can't even...
I loved visiting the water plant in Georgia. Peach emoji, flirting emoji.
Had some great eggplant parm while I was there.
Yeah, I just write in my Venmo for whatever I'm paying for, no matter what it is. I just write fun, and that's just what I write. That's just my code for everything. That's rent, and drugs, and
make
fun.
it private, guys.
Yeah, I just make mine private.
That's private too. Yep.
Yeah, because I also
and then
don't
I put
want...
real inappropriate things in there.
Hey, by the way,
I just love seeing Bauer's face go, wait, you can do that?
No, I'm saying it's going to come out regardless. I mean, it's not going to, whether you're private or not, doesn't fucking matter.
I'm not doing anything sketchy, and I'm not writing anything sketchy. I just like...
That's my point, is don't write for that dick in a text to somebody, like in a Venmo, even if it's private,
Well, what's hilarious is all the people
Yeah.
who for years were joking on Venmo, being like, for sex last night, like as the memo in Venmo. Now a lot of those, it turned out, was real. You ever do that in a check? You just, in the memo of a check, you just write like your mom or something like that. Like that's.
I would write in college. I would write blowjob when I had to write a check to my buddy. But then I wouldn't, because half the time they wouldn't cash it, so it was like a free $30.
That's how I paid for tuition.
I would write your mom only when I was buying somebody's mom.
And he would write my mom if his mom paid for the hotel. So he'd write that on the check.
I paid for it. She made the reservation. Let's just get the picture. Think you're good at trivia. You don't know shit.
Whose credit card was it, Ben?
My credit card.
On her
Let's get
account
this
or your
show
account?
rolling.
I found my credit card.
All right. Well, it's time.
Didn't know how to
It's
make a hotel
time.
reservation.
It's time to start the
As
show,
we
Ben.
said that real quick, Shannon Savage sent us a Venmo that says thanks for, and it's a peach, which we know what that means, and a squirting symbol. So that Shannon.
I should not have brought that up.
But he's a big
Savage
fan of
scared. She's like, fuck it.
the Georgia Water Project representing. I love that. The GWP.
Georgia.
It is time now for the video front row to reveal yourselves and join the shenanigans. Please turn on your cameras. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you. We're very excited to be joined today by Fiddler.
We got a ton of newbies today because
It's the Fleischer takeover today, right? So,
yeah, in honor of Chris Fleischer, who was the first person to suggest a post-show hang and created a great deal of community around the show. What a lot of the regulars did is they all kind of banded together and decided that they were going to keep their cameras off and have a bunch of new people here to have their cameras on, and so that we could have a bunch of new people in the front like Fleischer always enjoyed. And so it's kind of a tribute to him, and that's awesome.
I love that so much, and also the wrong day for me to have a mouth guard in when pronouncing a bunch of new names.
Here's my question: is it glued into your mouth? Can you just take it out? What happens if you take it out 15 minutes?
Question, but it's kind of gross. I don't do
His
gross.
teeth are balancing on it, so if he takes it out, it just all kind of falls.
I mean, you could be a broccoli for a minute, pull it out. Okay, just go. Do whatever you do. I don't know. It's fine.
I'm just gonna do the best I can. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do the best I can.
This is an easy one, Ben. We believe in you.
We are joined by D. Upton. Hello, D.
Hey, D.
Thank you for joining.
This one's harder.
Oh, God.
We are joined by Karolina Simanska.
Pretty close.
Ah.
Simanska.
Tamanska.
Samanska.
Yeah, there you go.
That still didn't look right.
One of those options, maybe. We are joined by Robin Connolly in the front row today. Hello, Robin. Great to have you. We are joined by Roddy Snaff.
What's up, Roddy?
That's
love
one of the
everything.
great names. That is one of the great names, and the great facial hair and the great hair. You got two
don't
halves.
know.
You got half green.
I don't know
When
if
you
the
say
hair.
eat the rich, I believe you. That's what I'm saying.
Roddy is muted. I don't know if the hair came first and then he changed the name to Roddy Snaff because the hair, or someone named Roddy Snaff has to have hair like that. But either way, it fits perfectly.
Badass.
Which is it, Roddy?
Name first.
The first.
Name first.
Name
Name
first.
first. Got it.
And I have a feeling he's actually played at the Roxy. This guy looks like a guy.
Roddy
Like, not as a
Snaff,
joke,
check him
like,
out at the
for real.
Roxy on Saturday. None of this Monday shit. He's there on the weekend.
I also loved your early film career, your SNAF films. Enjoyed those. We are joined today by Esther Orban, everybody.
Hey, what's up?
Great to have you, Esther.
I love all the Fleischer tribute backgrounds also. That's awesome.
It's
Yeah,
so
very
nice.
cool. We are joined by Brian Davies.
Oh, you almost had it. Almost
as
had it.
Brian Davies, everybody.
All those cats.
A lot of cats.
And cows, cats and cows.
Oh, yeah,
We
it's-
are joined now by the tie-dyed out Michael Veason, everybody. Hello, Michael.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
Thank you. Thank you.
With Baby Yoda in a cup.
Yes. Yes. My girlfriend made that.
Very cute.
Very nice. We are joined by Philip Fudgebottom, Ralph's dad.
For a moment, because Bauer started giggling like crazy, and it was like, was the Baby Yoda that funny? It's actually really nice. And it's like, nope.
I can't tell if that's Ralph or his real dad.
I think that's Ralph's dad. I'm seeing some gray on the sides.
I think
I'm
that's
seeing
Ralph's
Ralph's
dad. That's not
actual
Ralph.
dad, but I can't
Sir,
tell.
can you turn your head a little bit? Sir.
That's his
That's
dad
Ralph's
for
dad.
sure. I think that's his actual dad. That's awesome.
It'd be great if this is a virtual background with Ralph Pierce in front of it. That would be incredible. We're joined by Alicia West. Hello. Alicia. Welcome to the party, Alicia.
Woo.
We are joined by. Also, Alicia, if you turn your phone this way, it'll fill up the whole frame, but up to you.
I'm just gonna put my suitcase a little bit more to the side.
And I know we can't see it, but I'm sure there's a closet door open somewhere in your house. If you could go close that, that'd be great.
Wait, I'll open my suitcase.
We got it? Oh, wait.
And we are joined by Orlando Ferrer, everybody. He's got either a cloud or a thought bubble above his head. It's great to have you, Orlando.
That background makes me miss my old background.
Oh, it does look like it.
Yeah, that bubble says text 484848 in it if you look small.
Oh, it says, I'm thinking about texting 484848.
Ever since Steve moved to Pittsburgh, there's no wood in Pittsburgh whatsoever.
Not your house.
He brought the wood.
Good to have you, Orlando. And we are joined by
That everybody on video?
Is that everybody?
All right, so then Ben, you
no
want to read
Leedy
out
today?
some? You want to read out some non-video names?
I mean, Leady's
no
here
Leady?
somewhere. So the regulars are keeping their cameras off, so the newbies can be front and center. So that's what's happening.
Copy that.
So
So
you
we're
know,
also then joined by, who didn't I say? Oh, Patrick Yoakley is here. Lindsey Brown is here. We said hi to Frank Berman and Anna Hood. We did not say hi to, but hello. We've got Aranka here. Blue Corner Bill, Chris LaBelle, David E. Kelly is here, straight from the set of Ally McBeal. Jason Bolish. We've got Cass Sisyphus. Sisyphus? I don't know how to pronounce that last name. We've got Ray Benjamin. We have got. We already said Roddy Snaff, but I want to say it one more time. We got Tina in the house. We got Brad Clark. We got Technics. We got Cassie Nolan. We got Roddy's Conscience. And we have Timothy Brown in the house. And last, but certainly not least, we've got Lady E. Corbin Burnson, the way with the watercolors.
nice.
Princess of the pencil.
Ben, real
Where
question,
is she?
just quick question for you before we introduce the comics.
She go?
Why only Ally McBeal when David E. Kelly has done like a ton of shows?
It's the only show of his I'm aware of.
Okay, I was just curious if you were a really big
And I
Ally
liked
McBeal
it.
fan. Which
I
think
was
you
a big
are.
Ally McBeal fan. I watched it when it was the hour-long and the half-hour remix version.
Yeah, because he did like Boston Legal and Boston Public and Chicago Hope and a bunch of other city shows. I guess.
I do like a good meal at Boston Public, but I
He did all the
prefer
Law and
Ally
Orders.
McBeal.
How do you not know David Kelly? Jesus. You're gonna be so bad at the trivia contest. Anyway, we got 2 great comics. Actually, we got 3 great comics. The Sklars are here. The Sklars are back. How you doing, guys? Sklar brothers are popping the waiting room. Good to see you
We
guys.
are
How
good.
you?
Hey.
We're in separate locations.
man.
Because we don't like each other anymore.
Shit.
Will
Does
the
the twin
timing
thing-
hold up? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, does the twin thing work when you guys are away, or does that have to be like you have to be connected within 5
Well,
feet or something like?
Based on how stop and start that last interaction was with you, it's going to be great.
It's going to be perfect.
We will-
If by does the twin thing work, you mean are we more annoyed with each other than ever? Then yes,
Yes, it does.
we will find out today if twins are Bluetooth or Wi-Fi or cloud connected.
That's it.
I was thinking more like walkie-talkie cell phone, but yeah, absolutely.
Correct.
No, I mean, people have asked this of us all the time is, can you, if you really think hard enough, can you transfer your data to his cloud? That's a question we get all the time.
Get it all the time. Get it all the time.
I like
Well-
that that's people who are smart enough to know technical words and dumb enough to ask that question.
That's right.
Correct.
That's right.
It's a very small percentage of people. Yes, Steve.
Thin layer.
It's people who have heard the word Venn diagram but couldn't draw one. That's what
It's
it is.
basically it's basically anyone named Steve's looking for a jobs.
For a moment, I thought you were taking a swipe at me, but then
I know. I was like, oh
don't do
shit,
that.
that's bold.
I was like, oh,
And
looks
also-
like we're losing the feed here. We only got
All
Jason
right.
on the show. I don't know what happened to Randy.
All right.
Also, Laurie Kilmartin is here. Laurie, how are you doing? She's been Laurie. Holy cow.
Laurie.
Cheers.
Yeah, here I am.
Hey, there we go.
Hey,
Laurie.
hey Laurie.
Good. How are you?
Fantastic.
Pool
Great.
open in the back? The pool open yet?
Well, yeah, it's open. It's never closed.
What's great about the pool is that it completely shadows you out. It's really nice. It's really.
Well, they wouldn't let me check every time I was trying to check my video. I would get turned off.
That's
But
better. That's better. That looks good.
I don't take my water out for the winter, guys. I leave it in all year round.
Yeah, I like the idea that she's in Los Angeles. That's not like a community pool in Cleveland. Like that's private pool in Los
I'm not kidding. I literally thought you lived in New York. I thought you were in New York. I know you're in New York. I didn't know you lived in LA. I'm not kidding. I thought you lived in New York.
I'm
I'm
back
sorry.
and forth, except for the pandemic. I haven't left this room. But yeah.
I had a neighbor lady recently say to me, it was unreal. I was taking my garbage to the street, and she literally said to me, "Hey, I was wondering, would you mind if I came over and swam in your pool sometimes?"
Aw.
And I had, luckily my parents had a similar issue, and they gave me a good excuse to say right off the bat. I said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm very private." I'm not very private. I don't want her swimming in my pool. That's some bullshit. Random
That's why you
lady
said I
swimming in
couldn't.
my
That's why you
backyard?
said I couldn't swim in your pool.
That's why he said he couldn't go to lunch with Bowers also.
I'm very private. I don't like to go to Chipotle.
And maybe you'd be president if you'd let a few voters swim in your pool every now and then.
Only
That's
the
why-
1% swims in his pool, Laurie.
That's why he. That's actually why he lost, because it's called the reporter pool.
Yes.
I told him the contract Steve Hofstetter.
That was a reach, Steve.
That was a
It
real
was. It was. I just wanted to see if Ben knew that.
All pressing
Steve, at any point,
go
you
through
can.
Steve.
Steve, at any point, are you going to get that suitcase and just get the hell out of here after a good joke? That's right behind you.
That's why I'm still here, though, because I'm waiting
Okay.
for me to tell a good joke. So
Steve, I know
Okay.
that you're very proud of being a redhead, but you also don't need an orange suitcase. It's a little much.
this
my
is
God.
the reason I did this is because I was so tired of my suitcases, like of people taking them off on baggage claim. Like no matter
Well,
what I had.
but now you're going to get confused with Carrot Top suitcase, and that's going to be a problem because you're going to have a hell of a lot of props in your hands. And you won't
Yeah,
use
I'm
them.
gonna open it up and just be like, wait a minute, there's a blowtorch in here. How did he get that through?
This is his closer.
That, by the way, that would be an amazing thing. Is you have to go through Carrot Top's suitcase and figure out the punchline.
Yeah,
That's a game show right
That's
there,
a game
dude.
show.
That is amazing.
Right.
Guess the punchline, and they have to get this. Oh, that'd be hilarious.
And
And
you
then
call-
also you have to figure out what is from his act and what is he
Actually,
also just wear.
just
Like what does he
pack
need
it.
from his
and only people of color can play the game, and we call it cultural appropriation.
Oh my god.
or we call it prop comic sweep. Welcome to prop comic sweep, everybody. You will go into the briefcase.
I'd like a show called Comedy Proper Dildo, and it's just you just don't know which one it is.
You said
It's a
prop
shoot,
or not
hey.
proper dildo, right?
Rach, we got anything coming in? We got any overnights? or
So much coming in.
some stuff
So
and get to the
first-
set.
So much. So Frankie Berman said, "What is in the orange suitcase? Are you going to be pulling off a Carrot Top for your surprise show?" So he called it. Technic said, welcome to all the newbies in the front row, and thanks to everyone who came together to make this happen. It's fun to be in the Zoom, folks. Join us."
It's merch.
Of course it is.
But it's just merch I wear. So
Let's see. Jeremy Day, big shout out to Anna and Tam and the whole planning committee for putting this together. And then he also sent, he said, it's 1 year ago today that Chris Fleischer suggested in the YouTube chat that an after hours group be started. That one simple act of friendship changed the lives of everyone watching this profoundly. We went from separate people with little in common besides the love of a comedy show to community and finally becoming a family. The feeling of community and friendship that new fans get when they join this ever-growing family is a direct result of Chris and the other founding members of the No Pants crew coming together for that first time. Thank you to Fleischer for bringing us all together. Love you, my friend. It's beautiful.
Nice.
thank you.
Is this a cult? Where?
We don't talk about that, Laurie.
So Laurie, one of the early and more devoted fans who kind of started the whole fandom passed away earlier this year. And so this is like the reason this right now, so you don't step in it, because I feel like she's inches from stepping in it. So let me.
And now the comedy stylings
step
of
in it
Laurie
more.
Kilmartin.
What is this dumb thing, huh?
Let's pop open the suitcase.
You know her. You'll recognize her from making fun of a dead guy who you
A dead person who's not one of my parents. I think that's a distinction.
There we go.
I mean, you know.
Laurie
It's on
heard
brand.
that one of our fans passed away. She immediately started live tweeting it.
It's a habit that's hard to break, guys. I apologize.
I understand.
Very on brand. All right, Rachel.
Last thing, and then let's see. Savannah Martin said, "For Taylor, I'm stealing your wife. Bye." Savvy's at Taylor's house.
She meant wife. I gotta go downstairs.
No, too late.
All right, that's it.
All right, well, I don't know if you guys were here, Sklars, but you're going first, so I'm about to introduce you. So be ready. Coming up right now, it's the Sklar brothers.
Thank you.
Notice.
Thank you guys so much. It's great to be here. We love doing this show so much and love you guys. Just wait and biding our time till we can go up in space. That's now a thing. Regular people just going up in space, which I don't know, Jay, how do you feel about that?
Well, I think that astronauts, when they go into space, their families and everyone in their lives like know the deal, right? I think it's fine for them. They know, hey, daddy's up in space, mommy's in space.
We'll see her
Give
when she
them-
comes back.
Literally give them their
space,
right?
okay?
Give them but regular people,
It's a bad idea.
their families aren't going to understand that they're out there doing this thing because they haven't been used to this their lives. Like Randy and I were trying to think, if we were among the 4 people that Elon Musk was flying into space, we would be getting texts like this from our wives. Right?
My wife would be like, hey, on your way home, can you stop by Trader Joe's and get that vegan seed dressing? No. The fuselage is burning up over China. I don't know when I'm going to be.
I would just get a little text that would say timing ETA. I don't
What?
know. I'm across
3
the
and a half-
international date line. I don't know when I'm coming home. It's tomorrow where I am.
I know you're just floating around up there. Can you send an email to the club gymnastics and ask them why they keep charging us for the months that we're not there? Yeah, hang on a second, honey. Guys, just stop hooking up the International Space Station. And I need the Wi-Fi because I got to send a missive to Coach Mike and explain. Not a good idea. Not a good idea.
No. So we also, we've mentioned this, I think we may have even mentioned this on the show before, but we are definitely nervous about for our mom and her isolation. I mean, that's a big deal for her. She is isolated. She is
as a lot of older people are, and
people.
Thank God Japan has come up with a solution of how to, give them companionship and maybe some sexual companionship, as Japan has come up with a sexual robot for the elderly as a companion as well, which again, great idea on paper. I want our mom to have companionship so much, but if you've ever had to help your mom with an Evite or help her set up her Roku or whatnot.
This is I'm like, this robot better come out of the box and just be ready to start banging. Like literally.
You shouldn't have to plug it in. It should just
have to link it to the Wi-Fi. You shouldn't have to charge it even. It should just have like a 3-day charge. Like it's going.
If you have to explain anything and just get on, as we all are for our grandparents and our parents, and just be tech support, like that's going to be real. It's going to ruin your relationship with your mom. If you're like, no, you got to get the drop down menu, she
wants domination. She's infisting. Mom, you got to go up.
Mom,
it's alphabetical. Alphabetical.
No, up. Like the fist goes up. She's
domination. No.
She's now in face sitting.
But she's in donkey punching,
and then she just went to face sitting.
I don't.
Oh my God.
No, we don't want notifications every time it turns. She's like, how do you turn this off? You're turning everyone off, Mom.
No, I don't want to have sex. I don't want to have any sex anymore in my life because of this conversation. So we were saying what we need to do is we need to outsource stuff like this to another person to handle this stuff with your parents. I think this is how we're going to survive our relationship. We're going to call it, it's a good practice. I think it should be called mom sourcing. So anytime you have a situation that's going to test your relationship, you send that call to someone else who has their own mom, obviously, and they'll be sending it to someone else. And that way we never have to deal with our parents anymore in difficult situations.
I love it. I love
mom
the old
sourcing.
mom.
I think that's it.
Hey man,
Mom
look,
sourcing.
it's crazy because we're in that weird in between. I mean, we have an older parent who's still alive, and then yet we are parents too. And it's just right now good to be away from our kids. That feels good. And that's fine. I mean, we have kids, though not together. That would be weird.
That'd be weird if we had kids.
We each have 2 kids, which let's
be honest, that's too many kids. That's just too many children.
I mean, you can figure out which 2 need to go. But the only good thing about having 2 kids is that if anybody has less than you and they complain about anything and you're within earshot, you're allowed to leave the conversation you're in mid-sentence, walk over to them and just completely destroy them publicly. It is so much
so good. It's so cathartic.
A friend of ours was on stage, a comedian. He was doing a 15-minute set about how his one 17-month-old kid was ruining his life.
How hard it was to raise one 17-month-old child.
How difficult his life had become. Now, if you're a parent and all you have is one 17-month-old child, you're a parent like an optometrist is a doctor. Barely. You are barely a parent. You're a doctor like Dr. Dre is a doctor. Barely.
You were barely. Wait a second, Rand. Dr. Dre is a doctor?
He is small gynecology.
Dr. Dre has a small gynecology practice?
Yes.
Where?
City of Compton.
City of Compton.
City of Compton. City of Compton. You get it.
All right. Kid. If you don't know what a 17-month-old kid is, Randy and I'll explain it to you, okay? It's a dog that occasionally talks. That's all a 17-month-old is.
A magical dog. That's too much for you. So then I love our friends. That just have pets and can't handle that. That's too much.
The pet is too much.
Too overwhelming. You're like, hey man, we're getting a drink after the show. You want to come with us? Nah, I gotta get
out. Let the dog out.
That's my baby.
My boy. That's my baby.
It's like raising a kid. It's
It's
exactly
like
like
raising
raising a
a
child.
child.
We're like, is it?
Is it? Because if you can tie it up while you go have brunch, it's not a kid.
It's not a
Okay,
kid.
that is
No,
not a
it's
kid.
If you can strap it to a sled and have it pull you across Alaska, it is
It is not a kid.
If it can openly hump someone's leg in public and you don't get blamed for it, it is not a
It
kid.
is not a kid. If it runs away and 2 weeks later you're like, let's just get another one and call it the same name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no.
let's do that. Not a kid.
If you can openly have sex in front of it, it is not a kid.
Turns 15 and you're thinking about putting it to sleep. That actually is a kid. That is a horrible thing. You need to take down like our kids.
All right, is that it, Jay?
That's it. That's
our
Sklar Brothers, everybody. The Sklar Brothers
you.
tip jar is open. Top right of the screen is our Venmo. You can PayPal at sdscshow.com. Of course, Super Chat on the YouTube. Do all that stuff. And I got a question for you guys. I have to ask this. I'm so curious about the process of writing one of those jokes.
Yeah.
So I saw you do an early version of the sex robot joke, and all the stuff about the alphabetical stuff is new. And I'm so curious, did you Google sex stuff that starts with F, sex stuff that starts with D?
I mean,
No, we unfortunately, Steve, we know all about those things. We didn't have to Google shit.
There with each other, and you were just like domination, donkey punching, and like just kept naming some, and then you're like, okay, that's too many. Dial it back. Dial it back.
Are you ready for this? No, Steve, you're gonna love this so much. So, in an old bit that Randy and I always wanted to do on stage, which which would never do well, but it's the thing that we do with each other that makes us laugh. We used to do an old bit where it was Johnny Carson, dueling Johnny Carsons, introducing obscure NBA players who were going to be coming up on the show, and they were going to be performing some bizarre sexual act on someone in the show.
So that was it.
I already love this.
The entire bit was just us throwing to break. All right, coming up,
Yes,
Nate Tiny Archibald will be performing a Dirty Sanchez on Doc.
Oh, that is wild.
Right after the break.
Hang around, stick around. Stick around. Vinny the Microwave Johnson will be farting in my mouth. That is wow.
Come on back. Dikembe Mutombo and Alonzo Mourning will be performing an Eiffel Tower over Ed here.
It's so we unfortunately for that bit we learned about a bunch of ridiculous terms for that stuff, and I think
it's a crazy discussion too, because you're like, well, what would be the thing that's not too crazy? Because no one wants to think of their mom. It's like, to me, what would be the thing that would be the one thing that would be acceptable for your mom to be into? Domination. Fine.
Domination.
I mean, not fisting.
No,
accidentally on fisting. That's why they're trying to get her out of the fisting.
Trying to get her out of that.
Wanna be
She's
in
too
fisting.
low.
Mom,
Too low.
she's in the R's now. She's in the rusty trombone. Get her up. Get her up. Get her up.
She selected it. It's gonna
Oh,
happen.
great. It's
I
gonna
don't know how to
happen, Mom.
stop it.
We don't know how to
Mom. I can't stop it. I don't know how to.
I mean, someone was telling me yesterday, and maybe we can work this in too. That
There's a reset button right inside the anus, I think.
Yeah,
I don't know, but
stick
then
your
that's
finger
its
up
own
there.
thing. Then
It's
that's
its own.
With a paper clip.
Well, the idea, but with
Wait,
so
on
much,
the sex doll or on a person?
on our mom.
our mom.
Pretty good spot for a reset button on all things, I think.
I mean,
it clears the slate a little bit.
It does.
By the way, all this might end up in the act too. I mean, that's what
Yeah.
I. It's funny because so much of what we do, I feel like our act in so many ways is an attempt to recreate the fun we had the first time or the second time, or when we hit a riffy moment when we're talking about a bit like right now. How can we capture that? Because that is the thing that we can do that other individual comics can't do, which is we can have fun with each other on stage and kind of, show the process a little bit. And
that's my question. How often on stage when you guys are riffing does one of you break the other one that you kind of need to take a minute? Like, 'cause it seems like you guys have so much fun together. And I know when I'm with my friends and we hit one in a writing session, we just die for it. Like, you're doing that on stage because you're actually on stage together. how often does that happen where you gotta kind of have to stop the show because something just was so funny you have to like give them props?
Well, so that is a moment that we're not afraid of, because it's you are always want those real moments on stage to like just be those moments where you catch. If you watch Dave Chappelle and he just laughs in a moment, I'm like, that's great, because it's just a real moment and you can tell he's genuinely. So if that happens between the two of us, that is a moment where people are like, oh man, that must be like what it's like. That is what it's like to watch them hang out with each other, make each other laugh. So we do leave it loose enough that we can, in certain bits, surprise each other. And so you don't know what's coming next. Like it's coming, but like there's a looseness to it that I can get them. And I always try to, of course. And
I would just like to hop in and say that when you guys have a moment like that where you laugh and you surprise each other, I find it unprofessional, and I don't like
thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Ben refuses to laugh on stage. He has a rule: nobody laughs.
They're not laughing out here. We're not laughing up here. That's how it works.
That's right.
I have a tag. I don't know if it'll work for it.
Please.
While you're going through the letters and you're on D, you get to double penetration and be like, no, we don't have the upgrade package. You just have the one.
You didn't want to pay for it.
I want to pay for the upgrade, so that we got to skip that altogether.
We actually had to buy a floor model. That's right.
Yeah.
That's funny. I like it. I love it.
I like how
So
you guys
dirty.
are strangers on a train. Your parents upkeep with some other people with parents. You're like, I'll take care of your mom's sex like robot if you teach my mom how to make a sex robot. Like just.
That's actually called throw mama from the conversation.
So good.
Also,
but I think that's the next direction of that bit as the bit grow. We love expand. Like for a lot of times when they're like, we need to come up with a few more minutes of material. A lot of times we aren't like, hey, what's a new subject we can hit? We're like, how can we expand this 4-minute bit into a 7-minute bit?
So Laurie's going to come up, and she's one of our favorite comics. I always love watching her do her stuff because she is such an unbelievable joke writer. And it's from years and years of, doing her own stand-up and writing on shows where you're forced to just write a ton of jokes. She's been in that writer's room and has that mentality of like, okay, let's add on. So that is kind of what we try and say, okay, here we'll put the flag in the ground. This is the bit. And now how can we just, expand it, circles out of it, and which direction? A friend of mine last night was talking about the next wave of robots in your house that are fighting with each other. Like if you have a door in your car that opens up here and the garage door is supposed to close, it can't. So now the garage door and the door to your car both the door wants to go down, but this wants to go up. They're trying to do the same thing, but they're fighting with each other. That would be an interesting thing to talk about, like your sex robot and your Roomba, like having an affair. Just the interactions between, like, the sex robot talking shit about your toaster. I mean,
at one point, the sex robot is having sex with the Roomba, and at one point, Roomba just goes, "Move Roomba to a new location."
That's right. or the sex robot is having sex with the Roomba and then finishes the business all over the floor, and you say, "Roomba, pick it up," and the Roomba says, "I'm not on the clock."
Rachel, do we have any tips coming in?
Robot isn't a Roomba. What do you use your Roomba for?
Supposed to get corners and hard to reach spaces.
Yeah, I've got plenty of those.
I know.
I just imagine Laurie laying down and sprinkling crumbs all over her body, and the room is just.
I think there's 80. I think there's 80 cents in there. See if you can dig it out, Roomba.
All right.
Is it wrong to consider your Roomba your Latin lover? And that.
All right, let's get
I've
to
been
some
taking
tips.
a Roomba class for months. I just bump into walls as a workout.
Oh my god. That's a tweet right there, Ben. That is a tweet.
Wait it!
I learned to dance the Roomba for my wedding, but it didn't work out. I like it.
But that dance floor was spotless. Thank you, Queen Rachel.
All right, guys. Tam Brown said, I never thought I'd ponder if a sex robot could participate in a snowball, but here we are.
Tam, always bringing it. Always bringing it.
You're like, what is this, motor oil?
I'm imagining a robot just comes those little gears, and there's just a mouthful of little gears. I don't know.
I shudder to think. Thank you, Pam.
Gus Walsh tipped you guys and Laurie at the same time. So thank you, Gus.
Thank you,
Patrick
Gus.
Yoakley sent you $50 and said, thanks for always making me lose my lungs.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Awesome.
Jan Johnson sent in $30 to split between the comics. Just wanted to say that watching you all, you're hilarious. This is going to be a great show. Love to Laurie as well. So thank
So
you.
good. Thank you.
Demetrius sent $5. D-Dof, $10. You Sklar Brothers, you nasty.
That's true.
Name of our next album.
Brad Clark tipped and said, if the sex robot shows up already charged, you're just going to have to teach her how to charge it after it's been used.
It's going to be a huge problem. That's so true. So
Yeah.
true.
I used it for the full 3 hours, boys. Now what do I do?
Now what?
Had it for 3 hours, Mom. Jesus
Do
Christ.
it.
Those fuckers better be solar.
That's right. That's right.
I would have gone longer, but it only came 50% charged.
I mean, the truth of the matter is, it will only work if it runs off guilt.
All right, we had some generals. Karen Nelson said, Ben, I love your greetings. Better to hear you say my name when Miss Romper Room never did. And then she sent me a YouTube video that I can't watch.
Nice.
Thank you so much. Alexander Breyer said, Ben, I'm super late today, but you did the front row in under 6 minutes. Good job, buddy.
Wow.
Oh,
Look at that.
Now half of them had their cameras off, but I get what you're saying. So.
You must steal
Let
my
'em-
victories.
Two more. Hannah Lester said, tip the show and said, I miss my dear friend every day so much. I'm forever grateful for the family he created. He will live on in our collective memories for the rest of our lives. Thank you, SDSC, for bringing us together.
Awesome.
awesome.
And then Jan Johnson sent $100 to the show and said, thanks for being there and keeping our heads up through all of this. For all of this.
Thank you, Jan.
Thanks, Jan. All
All
right.
right, we caught up.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Hey, by the way, we should mention our show tonight. We should mention.
Oh,
that.
hell yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So tonight we have a phenomenal podcast that we do through Nowhere Comedy Club. It's Dumb People Town, and Ryan Sickler, who does the podcast The Honeydew, is just one of the best people to play with ever. He's one of our favorite guests on the show. He's there, and the Cactus Blossoms, who are just, they're modern day musicians, but they sound like Hank Williams Sr. So they kind of bypass the racism of Hank Williams Jr. And they are incredible. And they're going to do their version of our theme song and play some original songs. And it's just, I mean, for a lot of people some of the people have been to these shows, they're just so much fun. So if you're looking for something fun to do tonight, 6:30 tonight. And again, the tickets are at Nowhere, but we hope to see you guys there. It's so much fun.
Yeah, and
It's
if anyone,
absolutely-
oh, sorry, go ahead, Ben.
I was gonna say it's a hilarious show. I'll be hosting it as well. I host most of them. It's gonna be so much fun, you guys. It's really they just take absurd stories from the news and make them funnier than you could ever imagine. I highly recommend.
Yeah,
Thank you, guys.
if anyone hasn't seen it before, it's one of those things where the first time I saw the format of it, I was like, fuck, someone got there first. This is
Oh,
you know what I mean? It's just such
Same.
like,
Oh my god.
it's such a great format for a show, and you guys do a wonderful job with it.
Thank you, Steve.
you,
Thank you,
boys.
Ben.
Thank
You guys,
you.
thanks for providing the
Of
great
course.
spot to do it. So appreciate it.
Absolutely. And I had one last thought too. I like mom sourcing for when you send the mom calls elsewhere, but you can also call it loud sourcing.
Loud source. So good. So good.
You guys are the best. Thank you for being here so much.
Thanks,
You
boys.
got it.
We'll
Thank
see
you,
you
guys.
next time. We appreciate it. And I
Thank
think
you.
we're gonna have your own origin stories coming up soon. So hopefully we get that worked out too, guys.
Can't wait.
Hell yes. Hell yes.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
wait.
All right, we caught up. Rach, let's get to Laurie. Are we ready?
Yep, let's do it.
All right, coming up next, returning champion Laurie Kilmartin. Everybody, woo!
Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Sklars. What a great set and nice compliments. Made me just put away about 10 minutes of new material. Just gonna go with some shit I know works. It'd be better if you'd say, yeah, she's hit or miss, and then I could honestly. No, I will tell you, I'm very excited because the end of this month, I am having breast reduction surgery. I I will say mostly the support I get on that is from women. Men seem to take it as a personal attack. Doing this for me, not to you, guys. But the cool thing is it's being covered by my health insurance. I went to the doctor and he took pictures of me topless, and then he sent them to the health insurance company, and they decided that it was a medical necessity. Get them reduced. While I was relieved, my feelings are a little hurt. You didn't need to put it like that, you know? These guys saw me shirtless and they weren't like, wow, those are nice. You should keep them. Go to OnlyFans. They were like, oh my God, we'll pay any amount. I am grateful to my breasts. They did save me. When I was a kid, I was a swimmer, and my swim coach was a pedophile. He's in jail now, and he kind of molested me, but he really molested a bunch of my friends, and I always wondered why I got the least amount. And then when I read about his kind of pedophilia, he had a really creepy kind where he only liked girls who were like 11 or 12 right before they got their periods. So it was like about to turn into a woman, but still boyish looking. And I think what happened was my body picked up on that, you know?
Oh my God.
I think we were at a swim meet and my coach was like, who's next? Kilmartin. And my body was like, oh shit, Wonder Boobs, power activate. Sent a SEAL team to my uterus. Now. I was saved. So I'm not mad at my body. I'm happy. I did allude to this while I inadvertently made fun of a beloved person's death. My mom died of COVID last March, and it was shocking because I had started coughing on her in January. It took a while. Sorry. No, here's the thing. A couple weeks ago, I went to a medium. Actually, I took a friend to a medium. She had an appointment. Her mom's dead too. We're a lot of fun. And she wanted to connect with her mom. And she asked me to drive her at the last second, just in case she was overwhelmed and couldn't drive home. So the medium didn't know I was arriving with her. And I sat in a waiting room. And after her session, she came out and she said, guess who showed up to our session? Your mom. And it was, I actually believe it happened because, first of all, the medium said, I'm getting a J named Joanne. And my mom's name is Joanne. And he guessed it on the first try. And Joanne isn't a common name. When my mom was born, it was the number 53 girl's name. And just to give you a sense of what that is now, the number 53 girl's name is Paisley. And I've never met a baby named Paisley, ever. I don't even have a fabric called Paisley. It's not on my radar, okay? The Duggars had like 22 children with J names. Not one was a Joanne. So one of the daughters was a Ginger with a J. That's how off Joanne was. They're like, Joanne or a fucked up version of Ginger. Yeah, Ginger. Okay, so... It was he got it on the first try, and apparently my mom said I don't want to interrupt before taking over 20 minutes of someone else's session, which is exactly what she had done. Those aren't the two things that made me feel like this was real. The thing that really clicked with me is that my dad was there too, and he didn't get a word in edgewise. I was like, oh, now I know it's real. Okay, that's my time, you guys. Thank you very much.
Kilmartin, everyone. Laurie Kilmartin. Tip jar is open. Top right of the screen is our Venmo. You could PayPal at sdscshow.com, of course. Super chat on the YouTube. I am a Ginger with a G. So I think, and I have never seen it with a J. I would have noticed it if I had seen it, being of one.
Also, Laurie, it is true that there is not a fabric called Paisley, but Joanne's does have all the fabrics.
Wow, nice way to tie it all together. I like that.
I actually know one baby named Paisley, and it's the daughter of a stripper I dated for a while. So I think that's.
But it's also Brad's kid.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you the dad?
I was not the dad. No.
Okay. Well, thank you for. I guess I'll drop that bit now. Because
No. I'm saying I think you're right. There's not many Paises out there. It's a really dumb thing to name somebody. That's my point. Is that a really dumb person named their kid something really dumb. So I think you're dead on.
No, I have to include your stripper's daughter in my bit. I'll figure out how to do it. It'll work.
It is an interesting thing, though. I don't know if anyone's ever looked at that. Like, I know you did, obviously, for this joke, Laurie. But the idea of, like, seeing what the popular names were 100 years ago and seeing what they are now.
Well, my mom isn't that old, but yeah.
No. I'm saying, like, the evolution of it. For 80 years, they were pretty much the same. Yeah. Like, they would interchange here and there. And then the last 20 years, people are just making shit up. Yeah. And, like, it's just completely changed. Like, everything has changed in the last 20 years because everybody needs to be unique now.
Yeah. Ben, did you hear that? Steve knows when names change. That's the kind of trivia. Knows what year it was. They started saying shit like Paisley, and you think you're going to beat him in a trivia contest? Jesus Christ, that's random knowledge.
I still feel foolishly confident. Because we're not doing Trivial Pursuit. We're doing trivia like actual important things, not random facts.
What do you think trivia is? That's the point.
Ben's going to Ben's question to be like, Steve, what's in my heart?
Define happiness, Steve. Oh.
Winning that trivia contest.
A baby.
Yeah.
Rach, we got anything coming in?
All right. So let's see. We had Jan Johnson tip. Technic said, Laurie, you never cease to drop my jaw. Great set.
Thanks. Welcome to Jaw Droppers Comedy Club.
D-Dwarf, $5 for Laurie. And then there's more coming in. I just need to catch up.
And while you do that, by the way, so Laurie, you sing Jaw Droppers Comedy Club. So I, like, for years, my go-to fake comedy name, like comedy club name, like when I was like making fun of the idea of like these dumb comedy club names, was always the Chuckle Puddle.
Yes.
I was like, oh, come to the Chuckle Puddle in Oxnard. And then there's actually a club in Oxnard now, so I can't, like, that's not funny. But, like, my joke for it was always like, oh, come to the Chuckle Puddle where comedy reigns. Because, like, that's the dumb shit that, like, these idiots would actually do.
God forbid somebody base something around a pun. What a bunch of dicks.
It's, hey. I'm just saying, like, the name, like, comedy club names sometimes are horrible.
Yeah.
Like,
you can't beat the actual comedy club from the 80s, Sir Laughs a Lot. You really can't. It was in Wisconsin.
One of my favorite clubs to play. One of my favorite clubs to play is Rooster T. Feathers. It's a horrible name. And the owner, so she bought it. It was already named that and had a big fan base. So I think in her marketing, it says dumb name, great club.
That actually used to be a music venue, and they started doing. I'm from the Bay Area, so I'm a Rooster T. Feathers historian as well. It was a music venue, and then they started doing one night of comedy a week. Like they would have like Kevin Pollak and Dana Carvey. They have their old list. Like on Tuesday was Dana Carvey, and then they just went all comedy. And
what's the T stand for? What's the T stand for?
That's a secret. Only Heather knows, the owner. If you know, you have to own the comedy club. That's actually, it's a curse.
It's like pulling the sword from the stone.
Yes.
It's a secret, but it also stands for teabagging.
The Haha Cafe in LA wasn't a comedy club. They named it the Haha Cafe because they wanted people. They were, I think they're from Lebanon, but they immigrated. They didn't know a ton of English.
I think they're Armenian.
I forget where they were from, but they named the club because they wanted people to be happy while they were there. So they named it the Haha Cafe. And then all these people were calling up being like, hey, do you guys do open mics? Do you guys have comedy? And they just started doing it. Now they're a comedy club.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
No one gets
That's how most people end up being comedians, not usually the way the club works.
Nobody
just
gets into comedy on purpose.
they
Yeah.
tumble into comedy club ownership, and nobody actually wants it and starts out that way. It just sort of happens against their will, and they go with it.
My favorite comedy club name was actually in Cape Town, South Africa. The club was named Jomase, which is your mom. And they ended up having to change it to the Cape Town Comedy Club because they got too many complaints.
Yes, but did you know that Cape Town is also made up of the words Cape and Town? You didn't know that. That's the origin of the word.
Hey, someone asked. I'm from Walnut Creek, California, in the East Bay.
Yeah.
That's a 3 word. It's made up of wall, nut, and creek. I don't know if you're aware of that. But 3 of the great words.
we got
That's gonna crush me.
Should I stop
They are
this?
great comedy words. That's true.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
We had Tam tip and say, fabulous set. Even if you had inadvertently made fun of the beloved dead guy, he would have loved it and he would have laughed his ass off.
That is very true.
That is true.
Dana said, Laurie, that line about the dad not saying anything, perfect. Thanks. And then Sarah Garcia Real says, does that mean that you don't want to play at the ha-ha hole?
I think we'll all play there. That might be where Steve's secret set is tonight.
What I call my mouth.
Let's see. There was some generals. Technic said concerning Steve thinks dolls would get sunlight.
I don't. I was saying that you could just tell her to put it outside and it would charge up. You wouldn't have to explain to her how USB works. That was the joke. The doll being solar.
Oh, sex
Yeah.
dolls.
Yeah, the
Sex
sex
doll,
doll being
sex doll,
solar.
yeah.
No. I use all my sex dolls indoors. Don't worry about it. Rachel, what do we
Esther says, saying thanks for all the laughs since last April with SDSC and to the patrons for giving me the chance to be in the front row today. Welcome, Esther.
Welcome, Esther. And also, Esther watched last March also. She just didn't enjoy it till April.
And also, I just got a text from Steve. It says, my secret set tonight is at Helium in Buffalo, New York. Please don't read this on the... Oh.
I am not at Helium in Buffalo.
Oh, he's not. He's totally not.
Or sure, you know what? Go ahead. Go there. That's fine.
Whether or not he's there or not, he will be on the marquee, just so you know.
And then Gus has a trivia question. He said, Tennessee Williams was born in what state?
William.
Mississippi.
Ben?
A state of grace. He was born in a state of grace.
He was born in a state of display on a glass menagerie case because he wrote that. Did you know that, Steve?
Hold on, let me Google it.
I say Tennessee. I'm gonna guess Tennessee is where he's from.
I guess Mississippi.
I
Yeah,
can't
it's
tell if he's
Columbus,
asking.
Mississippi.
Boom!
Is it Mississippi?
It's called trivia, baby.
Nice job.
Thank you very much.
Oh, we forgot, Steve, about that Ben's really good at pulling shit out of his ass. That's what we forgot. Saves him. There's nobody better at pulling shit out of their ass than Ben goddamn Glebe. He's probably gonna win this shit somehow. He'll know. He'll be like that scene in Old School where Will Ferrell like goes in a trance and just fucking says the answer and then wakes up and doesn't know what happened. That's what's gonna happen in the trivia contest.
Yep.
What else we got, Rach?
All right. I think we're ready for the game.
All right. Speaking
Oh, wait.
of
Gus Walsh
Meetup-
just said, wow, Ben got it right and sent you $20.
Nice.
Nice.
Speaking of,
I did say Mississippi early on, but I don't want Glenn's $20.
Lori said that first? Oh, shit.
Yeah, she did. I'm going to give it to her.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
fair
we'll give-
enough. Fair enough.
No, I said it in a female voice. I understand why you didn't hear
I
it.
heard you.
Speaking of
We're
meetup,
working on
at
it.
Helium in Buffalo tonight. I got to get ready for my shows tonight, so I'm gonna go enjoy the game, have some fun. Everybody, thanks, bye. And this
Steve,
takeover
good
was
seeing ya.
absolutely awesome.
Yes, it
Bye,
was.
Steve.
Thank
Enjoy-
you, Steve.
Joy Scranton.
Thank you, Tam.
And Rachel, if you, I'm totally fine with you giving the money to Lori, but can you give her just 70% of it?
58%, okay? It's getting better.
Nice.
All right, let's
all
play
right.
this game.
So the game today, what do we say? It's Royal a TV show. Yep, Royal a TV show. So if you're in a front row and you want to say your entries live on air, go into the reactions and click raise hand, and I will call on you. These are the couple of entries, the unpaid entries that I liked. So Marissa Francis had Megan the Duchess Slayer.
Nice.
And then Andrew Kerr, whose line of succession is it anyway? Okay, and so Laurie, these are the ones that we're going to start to vote on. So Michael Veason, you're up first, buddy.
Buddy.
All right. I had first Flip That Palace. The Real Housewives of Buckingham Palace. And Her Majesty's 90-Day Fiancé.
D, you're up next.
First, I want to say you keep breaking my heart. I'm D Doof, not Doof, not D Dorf.
D Doof. Oops. All right. Thank you so much.
We had a deer dwarf. We had a deer dwarf earlier. That's why it's confusing.
Okay. Sorry. See, now I'll give you more money. The other Boylan guys, Charlie and the Chocolate Palace,
Nice.
and Predator.
Nice.
Brian.
I'm just going to keep this slightly less controversial because I don't want to get arrested. So I have got Pimp My Throne, Princes Behaving Badly, and Saved by the Queen.
Nice.
Awesome. Esther.
By the way, sorry, just really quickly, I love that you tried to be conservative there, but Pimp My Throne, when they've got Prince Andrew in the family, I don't know that that's the right.
Go ahead.
I have Queen Eye.
Queen Eye.
The Good Palace.
Nice.
And The Good Duchess, The Life of Kate Middleton.
All right. Is there anyone else physically wave at me if you want to do any on air? I don't see any hands. All right. So these are the rest of the entries. So we've got, let's see, Gus Walsh, King Beavis, and Prince Butthead. Adler had, instead of King and Queens, a poly sitcom. Poly sitcom. Frankie Berman, Queen Eye for the straight guy.
Nice.
And it was Jones, incest test. Gus Walsh, court jester Jones. Jessica Jones. Busy by nature, how you bred your brother. Raz had How to Get Away with Murdering a Princess, starring Queen Elizabeth. Oh, Jesus. Oingo Boingo, To Catch a Predecessor. Technics. This game is a Game of Thrones. William L. Hands, NYPD Queens. Dan Brown, The Walking Dead, Prince Philip. Gus Walsh, Better Call Saul, the head of the King's Guard, because I tripped in this guy's music store. Technics, America's Got No Thrones. Frankie Berman, instead of Full House, Royal Flush. Jonathan S., Growing Rains. Beanie McQueen, Grace under fiery wreckage.
Oh.
That was Deanie McQueen, Dina. Ralph had Wheel of Extremely Good Fortune. He had Markle in the middle.
Oh.
And then 8 simple rules for dating our preferred race. Oh, God.
Oh,
shit.
God damn it.
Technics, the crown of plundered jewels. Alexander Breyer, 6 feet under, no change. Berman, night court. Okay. Carolina, How I Met Your Stepmother, story of Prince Charles. Also had The Big Bang Theory, story of one car in a tunnel, sequel to How I Met Your Mother.
I've never been this brutal before. Holy.
Poor
Wait,
Brian.
wait,
Man,
wait,
he didn't want to be controversial. This is all terrible shit he can't talk about.
I can't believe I made fun of making. I apologize for making fun of a dead person. I take it off.
Yeah. Boingo Boingo, Mighty Monarch, Palace Rangers. I also had, on behalf of Grim Beer, Czar Trek. Star Trek. Get it? Czar?
You get it.
Oh, with CZ. I got it. Czar.
TZ. TS. Sorry. Zarchek. Billy Thompson. Family England Heighten is German. Family Matters. For Princess Di, the TV show Crash and Finally. Crash and Finally.
Oh,
And the last one, Woke. Well, we let that Megan girl into the family.
All right, man. I like that.
What are you doing?
What? I thought you said you had one left. One left.
No, she had one left, or he had one
Oh,
left.
sorry. I thought you said there was
No,
one.
it's all right.
My bad.
Frankie Berman, Queening Rainbow. Hannah Hood, how your mother was wed off to me.
oh.
She had The Walking Inbred. And then she had 2 shows that could star Prince Andrew, Shame of Thrones and The Price is Right. Shannon Savage, Growing Rains. Got that one. And then let's see, there was one other one. Shannon Savage, Harry, she's lovely, but she's blackish.
Oh.
I think that's all of them. Not a great way to start.
That was great. All right, I liked a lot of them. I really liked Flip that Palace for Michael. I liked Dee's Predator. Cannabis Jones Incest Test was really good. How to bed your brother. How to Get Away with Murdering a Princess was funny. Growing Range from Jonathan S. and a couple people. Dina's Grace Under a Fiery Wreckage, but I'm going to vote for Ralph's. All 3 of them were amazing. I really like Markle in the Middle and Wheel of Extremely Good Fortune were both great. They were both Ralph's, so I'm voting for. I'll go with Markle in the Middle. I think is great. Laurie, what's your favorite?
I'll say my favorite is Her Majesty's 90-Day Fiancé. It rhymes. I mean, it hits the brief and it rhymes.
Nice. Great.
All right. Honorable mentions. I loved Predator from D. Prince's Behaving Badly. But I'm going to give it to Markle in the Middle.
Nice. Ben.
I loved Michael Veason with Flip That Palace, Esther Orban with Queen Eye. I love Growing Rains. 8 Simple Rules for Dating Your Preferred Race was brutal and funny. But I give it to Ralph with Markle in the Middle.
Nice. Steve. Oh, yeah, he left. Okay, Markle in the Middle wins. Yay. Good job, Ralph. Great job. Claim your prize and send the email and all that good
Email
stuff.
us on the website, the email address on the website to claim your prize. Congratulations.
Laurie, did you write any? Laurie?
Just a Great Colonizers Baking Show.
Rachel, you got any?
No, I don't.
Ben?
I just have one which is to royal a TV show, Suits, but doing a reunion show now. Let's take it a little literally.
I thought you were gonna do like suits of armor.
Okay.
Suits with their armor. Hey, that's a good tag team joke. Nice work. Time to sing the song, Ben.
Oh, it's not time to sing the song. Our Night King game begins now. You should royal a movie overnight, starting from right now until tomorrow, until Tuesday's show. You got all that time to royal a movie. Give your tips and game entries like normal, and Rachel will pick a winner to announce on the air on Tuesday. You will be crowned Night King and win a free ticket to Nowhere and a free ticket to the video front row. And on that note, it is time for Leedy Doodle time. It's Leedy Doodle time. It's time for Leedy's Doodles because it's that time. It's Leedy.
Yay! All right. I'm getting slowly better at that part. All right, first I have Steve Hofstetter coming to you from an undisclosed location. Then I have Ben trying to figure out how many hours until the next show. He's working it out. He's doing the math. He's getting there. 72 hours. Well done. Then we have, are we sick of each other? Yes, we are. And I have, you know her from making fun of a dead person. It's Laurie. Sorry you have no feet, Laurie. I don't know why I did that to you. Then I have the Sklar's Brain Library, Sex Terms Encyclopedia, and Sex Robot Knowledge. Then I have the Sklars coming back to Earth with their groceries. Then I have point of view, you're at a Ben show. No laughing! And I have, after the break, Vinny the Microwave Johnson will be farting in my mouth. That's it for me.
Art for my heroes at LadyCorbin.com. Nice drawing of Johnny Carson right there.
Thank you. Considering I've never seen any of his work, I'm too young.
On YouTube.
Check it out. All right, Laurie, where do we find you in the world? How do we follow you around? What you got coming up?
I'm just weeping that I'm old enough to know who Johnny Carson is and be familiar with his work. But I have a book called Dead People Suck. If you like more comedy about death, it's about grief, hospice, and cancer, starring my dad.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next time. Laurie, thank you so much.
Laurie.
As for me, you can find me at Bowers Comedy. Wednesday, we have Sammy Obeid on Origin Story, so check that out. And the tickets are up for Indy for everything. So there's a hotel link for the Hyatt Place, $125 a night. There are tickets up for the live SDSC. There's still tickets available for Ben's show, and Steve's show is still sold out. But I think everybody has tickets. If you need tickets for the Steve show and you're going to Indy, shoot me a message and we'll figure it out. Cool. Ben, what you got coming up?
Okay, tonight is Glebe Off the Top, crowd work, and improvised madness with special guests, the Sklar brothers. It's going to be a really fun show. Leedy will be there. Join our Mad Ones town of total craziness. It's going to be a blast. The show is early this week at 3 Pacific, 6 Eastern. And if you cannot afford a ticket, or if you'd like a free ticket, financial help for a ticket, and you've only been once before or never before to the show, through the generosity of Jen Winklepleck and Patrick Yoakley, there are a few left. If you DM me on Instagram at Ben Glebe, I will hook you up with a free ticket ASAP, and you'll email in and be set up for tonight. And then, like Bowers alluded to, but very quickly, May 11th, I will be headlining my first time inside a club in 14 months, headlining a show at Helium in Indy. You can get tickets at their website, and to our live SDSC the next day as well, and to Steve's show. All that good stuff. Yeah, cool.
Very cool. Rach, anything you want to say before we get the audience out here? Anything we can catch up on?
Yep. So join our Patreon, Patreon/SDSC, and we need 10 more people, because I can count, to join our Patreon. And we can do a Zoom hang with everybody, with all 125 people at the time. And lastly,
before the end of the month.
Mm-hmm. And then lastly, catch up on some tips. LaBelle tipped the Sklars and said, I loved your set, but have you tried asking your mom to let the robot turn her off and back on again? That usually works. Carolina said, my first front row. Thank you, regulars. And Ben, you actually almost nailed the pronunciation of my last name. Congrats.
And
Almost.
if I was gonna take any advice for fucking robots, it'd be from Chris LaBelle for sure. So.
Dave Adler said, that doesn't look like a Buffalo area inn and suites. So he's trying to find out. He was. Billy Thompson, trivia, real places in Maritimes, Placentia, Conception Bay South, Heart's Content, Come by Chance, Witless Bay, Man Point, and Muddy Hole. Those are real places.
Where?
In the Maritimes. I don't know. They're just real places.
Like back in the day when we were all happy.
Back in the real world. Michael Beeson said, sent us $50 and said, General, for months of entertainment, thank you to the front row regulars for letting so many new people experience the show live. We appreciate you guys so much. D Doof said, for the host, $20. You guys make my face hurt. And then Yoakley sent $200 and said, for everyone, without you all, I would have never been able to laugh so hard for so many moons. I love you all. Also, because of you guys, I've made so many wonderful friends, all of whom I love. Thank you so much.
Awesome. And before we get the audience out of here, we do have 4 new patrons we haven't talked about yet. So Vanessa, James Himes, Mike Alberts, and my new favorite name, Leprechaun McPot, have all joined the Patreon. So thank you so much, guys, for being at the Isolation Nation level.
Leprechaun McPot is a AOE regular. His name is Nate, if you believe
Yay!
that.
Sweet. Awesome. Leprechaun McPot, thank you for joining the Patreon. We'll see you guys on Tuesday. Audience, we'll see you Tuesday. So thanks so much for being here. This is where you turn off your cameras. We love you guys. We'll see you next time. And hey, if you like the front row, come back, man. Come back. We'd love to see you. You guys were fun. Very cool.
SDShow.com. You can get tickets to the front row.
And I do want to say thank you to the regulars for putting this together and helping those people out. That was awesome. And obviously we do miss Fleischer, and we're glad I'm so happy that he built this for us. So Rach, anything else you want to say before you get out of here?
Yeah, just like I'm continuously impressed by the fans that we have and their generosity. And I love seeing the new faces. I love the old faces. The fact that this continues to grow is amazing, a year plus in. So, and I'm really looking forward to meeting all of you, or a lot of you, in Indianapolis. So thanks. See you guys Tuesday.
Very cool. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun time. So have a great weekend, everybody. We love you, and we will see you guys on Tuesday.
Yes, thank you guys so much for being with us. We miss Fleischer so much, and it must be cool for this thing that he helped to spark and create to be continuing and growing. And what a thoughtful detail, not only to invite these people to the front row, but for you guys to have your cameras off so they could be featured even more. That was just an extra little detail of thoughtfulness that only you guys would have thought of. So kind. And it was also extra kind because it made me not have to try to pronounce Cass's last name again. And I did anyway because I was told to read the list. It was a whole thing, but then she kind of didn't have her name written there, so I got off by the like. I'm very. It's hey there, Cass, size 5. I'm Ben along with Cass saying we don't need last names to love you. Good night.